almost forgot who we were. And tonight I'm with Tim from Jack Harlon and the Dead Crows. Tim, how are you?
I'm good. G'day, internet.
Hello, internet. We're in the web.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. I haven't seen you guys play for a while because of lockdowns and stuff, and it's a bit annoying. So
yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
I can't remember last time and what the last gig I went to was. In like June or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Actually, I can't even remember the last gig we played. Like our band was at the Last Chance, and I can't remember what month that was. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a blur, isn't it?
The ever long going lockdown. Well, anyway, we're here tonight to learn about you, Tim. So we know each other, obviously, but what I want you to do is tell me who you are, tell me what Jack Harlon is, what kind of music you play. Just give me a summary.
Yeah. So I'm Tim. I'm the main sort of driver of Jack Harlon and the Dead Crows, which is a 4-piece psychedelic spaghetti western fuzz rock band from Melbourne. Is that really hard to explain to
spaghetti
anyone?
western? I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. And we've been around for since like 2015, I think. It's a project which I write pretty much all the music, and record it all, and then the Dead Crows, I guess, the other dudes sort of come in and we play it live together. So yeah, it's my baby.
Yeah,
Jack Harlon.
It's a monster of a baby. So straight off the bat, I got to ask some questions. So the name, Jack Harlon and the Dead Crows, did that just come to you? Did you just go, I've got to create something interesting? Is there a story? It's okay if there's not, but if there is, I want to know what it is.
No, yeah, there is. It's weird. Like, I was trying to think of it earlier this week. Because when I started it, I wanted it to be a side project. Like, me and two of the other dudes were we were in emo bands, and like then the band sort of formed into like more silver cherry 90s sort of a thing, and I was in it, but I wasn't the main role in it. I was the sort of quiet bass player to the side. So Jack Harlon I wanted it to be this side project who no one would know who it is ever, who would be in the band. I wanted it to be sort of this big prank on the world, sort of a novel to me at the time.
Were you going to go the full masks, Slipknot, that kind of thing, or just release it and see what happens?
Well, I was never going to play shows with it. I was just, I thought I'm just going to, like, releasing music on the internet at the time, to me, was like just pissing into the ocean. No one's ever going to find it. So I thought I'll just do something ridiculous. And I wanted to make this whole fake band that no one would know where it's from. People might think it's from Texas or something. And all of the names of the band members on anything on the internet was just crazy, weird names. Like, I think on our first record, it even, like, Liam's name is One Giant Pig, and JD's Lightning Bolts Richardson or something like that. And so yeah, to confuse people was the idea. So I think that's what the name is, so over the top for, to confuse people. And yeah, I even wanted to release like a Live at the Texas Stadium gig thing that never existed to anyone. Nice. That never happened. So yeah, that's the whole Jack Harlon thing, and now it's just a stage name.
Oh, I love it. I love the idea. The idea is brilliant. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't go like the full bucket head thing with the, KFC bucket on your head or anything like that to hide who you were or anything, because
it's too hard to do at a local level anyway, right?
Yeah, everyone sees you walking away. with a bucket
Yeah,
under
no one knows
under
my
your
identity.
arms. No, that's brilliant, man. I love it. Just on that, I've got to ask, because this plagues me. A lot of your artwork features, the cowboy, the Jack Harlon, with the crows, and then you go and release your most recent release has Langoliers in it, and I'm just going, there's such a Stephen King feel about this as well, like.
Oh yeah, right.
Because the gunslinger books, I don't know if you're aware of them, but the
Yeah.
whole so was that on purpose, or was that
No,
just as
that's
it
weird
happened?
actually. That just come up. Like, because I heard of the gunslinger books,
Yeah.
like the Dark Tower and that.
Yeah.
That was after Jack Harlan had started. And Langolier was just I knew that was Stephen King.
Yeah.
That was like a movie I saw when I was a kid and freaked the hell out of me. But yeah, I get what you mean. Like, there is I feel in a way a bit more like an author than like a touring band sort of dude, if that isn't
Okay.
wanky to say. But like, I feel like I'm just sitting here writing stories and putting them into music form and sending them out. So yeah, I reckon there's a bit of some kind of book sort of crossover Stephen King shit going on.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's cool. So since we're talking about that, we might as well discuss in relation to this band, what sort of influences do you have? Like, what sort of musical influences are there for you?
Yeah, well, with this band, huge one that comes up immediately is Smashing Pumpkins. That was a band I was into when I was like 13 and got over them, got back into them, sort of thing. But I always just wanted to be Billy Corgan in a way.
Yeah.
Like just this skinny little, just ripping solos and shit. And yeah.
It's too much hair, mate. You kind of need to start doing this.
I'll give it a couple months. It'll be I'm 32 now, so I'm not far behind Billy Corgan. But yeah, so I think maybe that was like the main sort of band, because do you know Siamese Dream?
Yes.
One of their early
Yes.
records. Yeah, the guitar sound on that blew my mind from when I was an early teenager. And it's actually a bit like you were talking to JC from Planet of the Apes last time he did one of these, I think. It's a bit like he said, like, people said, have you heard of fuzz, the tone fuzz? And I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard of it. But every time I tried it, I'd play it with full chords and that I just sucked. I'm like, this thing sucks. And didn't realize till probably like 10 years after I discovered Pumpkins that the sound of Siamese Dream is all fuzz pedals. So and I took ages to learn that. I was like 20 freaking 4 or something, and I'd played in bands for 5 years, 6 years, not knowing what fuzz was, and it blew my mind. So this band, the influences for Jack Harlan, it was just anything with fuzz in it. Like, I hadn't heard doom till then, any sort of stoner music. So it's still like that now. It's all in one kind of thing. So yeah, Pumpkins and fuzz.
Pumpkins and fuzz, it works for me. So you touched on fuzz and the riffs. Tell me about your equipment. What do you run? Oh, now before you do, tell me about your guitar. Tell me about your vocal equipment. Do you run pedals for your vocals when you play live?
Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's slowly getting better over the years. I reckon anyone that runs like a hot vocal live will tell you that. But so for the recordings, I just treat my vocals like a guitar amp pretty much. I run them through guitar amps and EQ them like it's a guitar and all that. But to recreate that live, like you're just going to be feedbacking all the time. So I've got what's it called? A TC Helicon voice play live. And it's awesome. It's like a little Digimon machine sort of thing. So that emulates guitar. That emulates guitar amps and reverbs and all kinds of effects. So sort of like every show we play, I'll get to know the sound guy and ask what they think of the tone and try to evolve it, make it easier for the sound guy as it goes on. And
So you just ask the sound guy for a clean vocal and you just play with your pedal.
Yeah, well, it's like you got to work it out with the soundy at the time.
Yeah.
Like in your sound check, you've got to do it. Yeah, it's not a dry vocal. Actually, yeah, pretty much. I'll ask them for a dry, and then maybe if they want to put some verb or more delay on it. And yeah.
So guitars, what do you play? Tell me about your guitar. Tell me about your amp.
This guitar is like, this is the only electric I've got pretty much. Yeah. And this is, I don't even know what it is. It's like it's a Fender Strat sort of a thing. Bought it for like $300 off just some dude in Melbourne, his son. I didn't even meet the guy. And he said it was a Fender custom shop Strat, but like it's not. I think it's a home job Stevie Ray custom, I don't know, wannabe sort of thing.
Yeah.
So took the pickups out of it. They just had single coils in it when I got it, and put they're like laced death buckers in them, super high output humbuckers. But yeah, when I took all that out, it was all just hand dowed. Like it's not even a Fender body or anything. It's just a random cut thing.
Wow.
With some sort of, I think it's just a basic Strat jumbo neck on it.
If you pick up a different guitar, do you feel like it's just wrong?
Oh yeah, because I've used that for every gig, pretty much. And like, there's been a few where I've snapped a string or something. Once I forgot my guitar at a Grim Rhythm gig, and I had to borrow Timmy from that band, and yeah, it's uncomfortable, man. Like even if I play a guitar that doesn't have a whammy on it, I feel weird.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah, so yeah, I love that guitar.
And amps, what do you play on stage?
I've got a 1965 blackface Bassman, which has been a dude out west redid it fully. It was just fucked when I got it. 8T amps. Yeah, so that thing's awesome. It's loud as hell. Yep. Nice breakup. It's real good. You can use it for bass too if a band needs to borrow it. So
yeah, good. Fantastic. Pedals. How do you get your fuzz? What's your key fuzz pedal?
It's my favorite question of all time.
All right, hang on. I mean, I kind of know the answer to this. How many pedals have you got on your board?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, including the vocal. Yeah. So, well, for fuzzes, I've got I don't know. I think of fuzzes in this weird way where there's like creamy fuzzes, or I call them desert fuzzes, and then there's just blocky teeth fuzzes. Yeah, that's just how I see it. So
yeah,
for my creamy desert fuzz, I'm using a Fuzz Factory at the moment, which is a new addition. I used to have it's down there. Most of the time I used to use a Red Witch Fuzz God 2. It's like a New Zealand fella that makes them, but that thing, God bless the guy who made it. It's just a loud, screaming, sputtering pedal. It's just, it died. So that's gone. And for my teethy, blocky fuzz, Hyper Fuzz, that's the Electric Wizard pedal. That's the shit. Like if you want a doom pedal, get that. Like everyone in the band uses a Hyper Fuzz because we love them so much.
Fair income. The other two use them as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Freaking, I didn't make them, but yeah, JD lived with me at the time, our other guitarist when I got it. And he loved it. And then because I just use them for all our recordings and stuff, so
yeah,
if everyone's using them, it's going to sound so much more like the recording.
yeah. Brilliant. All right, so I guess the next question, and I'm going to say this straight up, you do not have to say it was an Ocean Lord gig. What I do want to know, what I do want to know was, think about what's your favorite gig with this band that you've played. Think about the location, the band you played with, the way the crowd reacted, just how you felt. What's been your favorite gig so far?
Oh, so not Ocean Lord gig.
It doesn't have to be one that we played with you, is what I mean.
Bloody put it on.
It would have been your gig and we would have been playing with you, just to be clear.
All right, if I must pick a not Ocean Lord one, probably Tanglewood in what is time now? What is time in lockdown? 2017.
Yeah.
So before our first album. It's like a doof up in I don't know, North Victoria. We love going to doofs,
yep,
like attending them and listening to psytrance and all that. And then this was like a New Year's doof, which was like half psytrance, electronic, drum and bass stuff, and then they had this other stage for just bands rocking out. So it was like New Year's. Jack Harlon played New Year's Eve, so this Friday night on this outdoor stage, like, look, kick ass, everyone's having
fun,
a few beers, yep, amongst other things.
yeah,
as we played, the sun was going down, and like there's people just dancing to it like it was psytrance, which is awesome.
Fantastic.
So that was, and then Holy Serpent played after us. So I was like gone, man. I remember there was this big outdoor sand kind of dance floor thing there with these big speakers. And by the time Holy Serpent were playing, I was in front of the big speakers on my knees, like just chucking sand around, like, yeah, just getting into it. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. And Stiff Richards played too. I'd never heard of Stiff Richards before, but
no.
They're from Melbourne. They're one of the most like real deal punk bands from Melbourne. I don't know if they remember us. Like, I think they blew my mind. I don't think we blew theirs, but yeah, that changed my life a little bit.
Wow. And life-changing gig. Nice.
It was. So yeah, then for the rest of the weekend, like, we clock off on the Friday, we've got a night or two of partying. So it's like, I've forgotten that I've played like by the Saturday night, and I'm just on the dance floor at 4 a.m. and I'll meet someone on there. They're like, "Oh, you're cool. You're in a band." And I'm like, "What? Who am I? What?" It's not like I was in heaven or something. So
yeah,
that gets the best gig.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it. I don't know that I haven't experienced anything quite like that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, go to a doof. It'll blow your face off, man.
It's been a few years. I don't know. Do they have disabled parking and shit for old people now, or what?
Probably, yeah. They'd have everything. They're very accommodating at doofs.
The last Download festival I went to, I came out of the mosh pit. Linkin Park was on. I'd never seen them play live, and not Linkin Park, sorry, Limp Bizkit. I'd never seen Limp Bizkit play live. So I was like, I've got to get in, and I'm coming out of the mosh pit, and I'm getting pats on the back. Well done, Dad. Well done. I'm like, you fucking pricks.
Savage.
So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
So he was dressed up as a grandpa anyway. Did you see that recently?
Yeah, loved it.
So that's the go.
I would feel better now, but yeah. So all right. Now what I want to know is, and you mentioned a couple of local bands there. So locally, when you go to see a gig, who's your favorite sort of band to go and see at the moment, where you just get caught up in it and it's just a brilliant live act? And it's kind of the flavor
Wow.
of the month. You know, I'm not asking for your all-time favorite, just at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, before COVID.
Yeah. Garlic naan, man, for sure. If you haven't
Yeah.
heard of garlic naan, they're like a sex power, I don't know, Greek motorcycle punk band from Melbourne. And man, if you just got to go to a garlic naan show, you don't know what you're gonna see. Like they were running a raffle last time I was there. I've seen two chicks just randomly start boxing on with each other with like full boxing gloves in the middle of the crowd. It opened up, sanctioned. They've had stand-up comedy. Like,
Really?
you have to go see Garlic Nun, man. They're nuts.
That
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
He wrote in Costi, the main dude. He's got a big mustache and wears G-strings and that. He's Greek as hell looking. And he rode into the last gig on his Harley, just at the Hotel Westwood.
Oh, yeah,
Out
yeah,
in
yeah.
I can't remember where it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Out west.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, so the whole room's just filling with like fumes and that. It just smelled like a mechanic for the whole set.
Holy shit.
Yeah, go see him, man.
So there's gimmicks, and then there's riding your Harley into the middle of the crowd, I guess. That's just insane. That's hella commitment.
Yeah, and they're fucking good band as well, obviously. I don't even talk about their music, but yeah, all season musicians. Like they've been doing it for like 10 years.
Fantastic. So Garlic Nun. I'll definitely check them out when Uncle Dan lets us out.
Yeah.
So okay, so locally again. So let's just say Victoria. Who would, you know, what would be your perfect lineup? So we say Jack Harlon and the Dead Crows, and give me two other bands that would be a great lineup for you that you would want to play.
Well, that's actually kind of a good question because, well, the first part of that is we kind of tried to do that earlier in the year, like this gig, think, oh, what is just three bands that we want to play together. And well, one was Garlic Nun, who I just brought up then, for obvious reasons. And then Psychobabble as well, but for strange reasons, because I think in both those bands, we've known the fellas in Garlic Nun and been through different bands with them for the last 10 years, even more than 10 years. And Psychobabble, like we lived with 4G, the guitarist, for a bit, and we're good friends with them too. But we just noticed that we don't play any gigs together anymore because we're all busy with our own things now. Like Garlic Nun are in the punk scene, we're like the stoner scene, and like Psychobabble, they're mad. They're like a dark sci-fi kind of fuzz eerie band too, but they've got their own thing. And yeah, if you don't pay attention to it, you just let your booker do everything and you won't end up on your own gigs. So we actually had that idea. We're like, man, we got to get Garlic Nun, Psychobabble, and Jack Harlon on a gig together. So we put together like Harlon Fest, which was meant to be in July, then it was meant to be the next month and the next month. So yeah, it's still postponed, so the gig might happen.
That'll be brilliant, man. So how do you think the punters are going to go with the variation of the music in those three bands? Or you don't care? Is it, I mean, it's just us having a great time, and you know, if the crowd loves it, the crowd loves it. If they don't, that's okay.
Yeah, I like it better that way if it's different, because I feel like that's what I'm used to. Like, and something we're not familiar with at all is the house show. Is where you're all used to. You don't know what band's next because we grew up going to house shows and playing house shows when we were younger and stuff. And I want to bring that vibe back, you know, like I actually reckon it keeps people out of the beer garden if it's not the same genre the whole night. Because if it's the same genre, maybe there's more of a sense of, oh, I'll see the less good band of this genre tonight, and I'll miss them and have a dart out the back. But you know, if you got one bloody Greek Harley explosion band and one sci-fi band, you know, I'd want to see all of them. So
no, that's a cool
I reckon
theory.
it'd work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess you know, I guess each band's going to have their following as well. So, you know, they're going to come along and go, we'll trust the judgment here, and we'll have a sample. You know, I don't think I've ever had a desire to go and see a Greek Harley punk band, but now I'm interested.
If you come to this gig, you'd go. Yeah.
Now I'm interested. All right, so this is, you know, the rock gods give you the power to put on any gig that you want. I want you to pick 3 bands, whether they're alive or dead, still going or not going. Just pick 3 bands that you'd like to go and see in one night.
In one night.
Yeah. One after the other.
The possibilities are endless, but
of course,
for one, I reckon I'd go, and the night I'd start with King Cruel, which is an unconventional choice for me, but he's an artist from the UK. He's like, he's real. He's like probably about 5 years younger than me, and real minimal, just raps and sings about heartache. I start off with him.
Yeah.
Because he's the vibes and sort of got this lo-fi thing. Everyone gets the feel for the gig. And then after that, then Pumpkins come up next. Hey, it's me, Billy Corgan. And they're rocking out. Because then you've got, I don't know why I acted out being Billy Corgan, but they've got Up and Down. So they're getting a bit romantic, and then getting a bit angry, then aggressive. And then it should end like a heavy band, like Meshuggah or something. Yeah. Probably put Meshuggah at the end.
Yeah.
Or Colour Haze. I want to see Colour Haze.
Colour Haze.
If I can tack them on.
They heavy enough?
They get heavy, yeah. They get heavy enough. No, all right. Meshuggah's, Meshuggah will close it off.
All right, I'll let you have 4. I'll let you have 4.
Sweet.
Where are you going to squeeze Colour Haze in? Third or last?
Third, man, yeah. They're not as heavy. No.
That's a hell of a set list. And you're the first person that I've interviewed that hasn't said Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Oh, yeah.
That is not a slight on you at all. It's just, it was really interesting. I thought, shit, you know, I mean, three out of 3 said it. And well, 4 out of 4 if you include, you know, there was two guys I interviewed with Didactic, Joe and Liam. They both said Jimi Hendrix. So you broke the mold. You broke the mold. That's good. I like it.
The dude that dresses up as Jimi Hendrix just goes, nah, not Jimi Hendrix. I mean, I'm original, finally. I don't know.
No, it's good. It's good. I like it. So that's the ultimate gig for you. I reckon I'd pay to see that. That'd be interesting.
It'd be a weird one, but that's what I'm about. I'm about the diverse sets and the different sounds.
It's nice.
Never been a gig manager, so it could go wrong.
Yeah, well, you know, I just said the power to have the gig, not actually, you know, do all the administration of it and set it all up.
Oh, right.
Call people in and shit, you know.
Yeah, well, fuck that. Yeah, okay. Let's go for it.
All right. So look, we talked before about how bloody long ago it was we saw gigs or we played gigs, but what do you think, what do you think the future of gigging looks like at the moment? Like if you just go from what we know now, what we've seen, what we're experiencing here in Victoria, and yourself having to postpone stuff or cancel, gigs, stuff like that, especially interstate. Did you cancel an interstate?
Yeah, whole Australian tour.
Yeah, South Australia, that's right.
Correct.
So what do you think the next, what do you think that the next 6-12 months is going to look like? What do you think is going to happen? As far as gigging?
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to wait till April or something. Like a few months ago, it was very much split into two types of bands. There was the bands that were just like, oh, we'll wait till next year, just give up trying to rebook. And then there was the bands that just kept rebooking and rebooking. And we were one of the bands that kept rebooking it over and over again. And now we're even taking a lull till, I don't know, next year or something. So it'll take us a bit to get on our feet, but like in the long run, it's weird, hey? Like it's really changed the playing field. Like stream gigs are pretty dead. I reckon everyone's over that novelty.
And that's something I was going to mention, because you guys, one of the streaming ones I saw, and I'm trying to remember the name of the
Center Everywhere.
Center of Everywhere. Thank you. I should have written it down. That was a good gig. Like I remember the guitarist in Ocean Lord, Pete, and I were sharing a house, and we had the garage set up as a studio, and we got the projector out, put it on the big screen, had the massive amp set up, and we sat there.
That's sick.
The two of us just sat there like in chairs next to each other with drinks, and we just sat there and we were just like, man, this is awesome. Like we were stoked.
That is actually sick.
We were lucky because we were sharing a house, so we could do that. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I probably wouldn't have done it if I was in my own home by myself. Oh well, with family and stuff, I probably wouldn't have done it. But because the partner in crime was there, and it was brilliant. It was really good. And I was like, shit, this is a possibility. Like we'll be, bands could get into this. So what do you think? I mean, what's the issue about streaming gigs that's sort of fallen away? What do you reckon?
I reckon it's just too close to YouTube. Like I think that's the thing. People are always going to go for what's easiest and closest to them. Even if they want to support the band, it's good. But
yeah,
like say that setup sounds awesome that you were saying. And yeah, I was like a bit hopeful, like, yeah, that could actually be good. And then I remembered that, YouTube's right there. So, I mean, it's a real novelty aspect to it, which like novelty is not such a dirty word, but like I've been to a few stream gigs and I set their house up and, go to the merch store and get in the chat, and it's mad, but I don't think it'll last very long.
Yeah.
And I reckon festivals are going to come back hard when lockdown ends. People are going to love festivals, go to heaps of them, and I reckon local gigs will suffer a bit because of, like, did you notice at the start of this year, like around February when we opened up again, Vic, gigs were good and people could come, but it's like they took a bit of massaging to get back out of home for the local stuff. Like maybe a festival is a big day, but I think people are out of the habit.
I think you're right. I mean, personally, I'm chomping at the bit just to get out and see someone play. And I've heard people say, we've got to pay more because they can't let, they can't fill the place, so they can only let so many people in, so the tickets are a bit more pricey. But man, if I haven't been to a live gig in 3 months, $30 to see 3 bands, come on.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, same. Same for me, man.
I'm in, like how many fingers do I have to give up to come and see a gig? Take them. But I think you're right. I think when you say festivals, do you mean massive festivals, or you mean local festivals like Aftermath that's coming up, like where you'll see, starts at 2 p.m. and finishes at like midnight, that.
Oh yeah.
Just at the Bendigo or something, just a local festival.
Yeah.
Do you think,
I was meaning big festivals. Yeah.
So I think big festivals like Download and all those sort of things are going to suffer big time because they can't get the internationals in. Because I think, I think that we may actually have a better, when I say we, Australian artists are going to have a better chance because, who's going to front the money to say, well, we'll get you over in January. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks before it, no, we're in another lockdown. Someone's put that money in, man. Someone's invested that. So hopefully, I think that local bands might get, we might get a bit more interstate if we can travel interstate. But I mean, like, Ocean Lord was supposed to be doing a gig in September in Sydney, and we've had to, we've had to say no to it for obvious, we can't travel.
Yeah, going to the golden standard state.
Yeah. But
no way.
Yeah, but who's to say that when things loosen up a little bit just in Victoria that we can't put something on in, say, Bendigo or Warrnambool or Wangaratta or something. Let's start putting some nice little tight festivals on ourselves. That
there might be that nice little window there, hey, where like lockdown ends and then people are dying to go to a big festival, because that's what I was meaning. I reckon people want to go to festivals and do something big and outrageous opposite of lockdown. But yeah, there could be a nice little window where people want to do that, and internationals can't come yet. So the right people book the right gigs.
And I think too that the idea of, like, I mean, I say Aftermath just because I've just bought my tickets to it, but I think it was $40 plus booking.
Pretty cheap.
And you're seeing a stack of bands in the one day. And it's not like, if you were to try and see that number of bands over a few weeks, and then something happens and lockdown happens, well, you might have seen a couple of them, but not all of them. So if we've got them all in the one day, let's just knock it off. Let's have a ball and just cut loose. But anyway, that's kind of what I think. I think that I hope anyway. And there's a lot of talk about, and you were talking about it before, the open air stuff. There'd be some. It'd be great to do some open air stuff through summer if we can. It'd be terrific.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for, man. Just a place where someone can have a ciggy and watch the band outside in the day.
And you can be 3 feet away from whoever you need to be 3 feet away from if you have to, or whatever. There's not some crazy limit. I mean, we can fill a football field with people.
Don't say anything.
Maybe not. All right, so I mean, you touched on it before, just about you guys are sort of waiting to see what happens. Have you got are you writing, recording, planning some merch, anything like that? Anything happening like that at the moment?
Strangely, well, lockdown's been bad for touring and stuff, but it's been nice for everything else. Like, I've had so much time to record. Like, I finished Ridge last year, and now we're sort of working on all these little EP projects we're doing. So a fair way into doing this cover EP that's sort of turning into an album now. At the moment. There's a noise thing. Hey?
I'm keen as shit to find out what this cover album is like.
Yeah,
I saw it on the socials. You said, doing a cover thing. What do people want to hear? And some of the suggestions I was like, yes, you have to do that, and you have to do that. So I'm really keen to see what you've decided on in the end, and have that happen. That'd be brilliant.
There's some cool songs in there I'd never heard of that people suggested, and I was like, they won't make it on there because they're too involved. But you guys have a good taste in music out there, internet
people.
Doing this shit for? Sorry, man.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's interesting. I've been thinking while we've been talking, you talked about your influences early on with the Smashing Pumpkins and so on and so forth. Your favorite song of mine is No More Bastard Children.
Oh, cool.
That is my favorite song. And it's so funny because when I say funny, it's interesting to me because I've got 3 kids, adult kids, and the youngest is in the car, and it comes on, and she goes, "Oh, I love this band," and I'm like, "Who is it?" And she goes, "Is it All Them Witches?" And I'm like, "No, it's not. It's Jack Harlon, the Dead Crows." Oh, that's it. And it's interesting because it feels to me very similar in feel to their early stuff, which is, in my opinion, they've sort of moved away a little bit. You know, their early stuff was just gold. You know, and they're an influence to me. But yeah, I think that's why I'm drawn to that song. It's just got that real groovy feel to it, and it's got the kick when it needs it, and it sort of lulls you into that false sense of security, and then it's like bang.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Listen to that again. It's been a while.
You should listen to it. It's good, you know.
That was one I loved when I did that album, and it was probably one of the least brought up and listened to songs on it. I think, I don't know.
Well,
yeah. So cool.
The numbers should be up now because on Spotify the numbers should be up because it plays on my list quite a bit.
Oh, good. Making me royalties, man.
So was that just a happenstance, or was that like, were they an influence in your? Is that someone you've listened to? And
yeah, man, I've smashed some All Them Witches. They were a weird one where I heard them soon after I started Jack Harlon.
Right.
People are like, "What are you going for?" And I'd say, "Oh, like a Jack Whitey sort of westerny grit blues thing." And then, oh, I like All Them Witches. And then like I found All Them Witches. I was like, oh shit, they're doing the same thing I'm doing.
Yeah, but
then I went and got into them, and they influenced me. So.
But I think it's similar, not the same. I'm not saying that it's the same. You know, they're doing their thing, and it is different to what you guys are doing. But it's just that catch in it. I really enjoy. But
yeah, we're in the same vein. I'm happy with that. Good.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to think that people can hear that kind of thing in your music. It's a good thing. So we are almost out of time. What I do want to do is I have a Spotify playlist that is the aim here is that every person I interview picks a song, probably one of their own songs, to put on the list. So what are we going to put on?
Do Rat Poisoning. I don't know. That's just an interesting song. Goes all over the place. Goes for ages. Bit of a medley. I don't sing much in it, so it's better than the other one.
I noticed that the first time you played it live, I was like, that's interesting. It's a little less vocal.
Yeah.
I didn't think medley, but yeah, it is. Was that a choice? Like, was that something you chose to do, or was that just the way it felt?
It's kind of like two things. I wanted to do a thing like Black Sabbath do off like the first album. You know, 2 of those songs, it starts off and then in 30 seconds it changes, then it changes and changes. So it was based on that idea.
Cool.
But yeah, it was meant to just be a bit of a brain spew. Like, took freaking 3 months to write every other song on the record each, but that was like one afternoon of just writing it. So
fair dinkum, one afternoon.
Yeah, I'm not a fast writer either. Just that song randomly was good. Came out. So
nice. All right. Well, Rat Poisoning it is. We're going to head off, but down there somewhere, below us, not down there. There's going to be links to your Bandcamp, Insta, all the socials. We'll put, there's a Spotify link up there somewhere. We'll put all the links out. Tim, thanks for chatting with me tonight. It's good to see you, and hopefully we'll get to see you actually up on stage soon.
Yeah, it's good to see you again, man, even if you're on a screen.
On a screen. All good, man.
Fingers crossed, man.
We'll be
Peace.
there soon. Thanks for coming.